Hi, and welcome to episode 8 of School Psych to Go. This episode is about how we can remember what we learn, and specifically, when are mnemonics helpful? One of the greatest challenges is remembering what we read or hear, and we know it's no use if we can't remember and apply it. One of my favorite authors when it comes to learning is Daniel Willingham. He's a cognitive scientist who studied the practical application of cognitive science to teaching. And here are some of his books. I saw a presentation with him last summer, and one of the questions at the end was about how we can remember what we learn. In that Q&A, he shared about mnemonics, a popular tool for memory. And I remember practicing mnemonics in my first psychology class in high school. It was the one where you visualize random items as you walk through your house. And it's a way to remember a long list of unrelated, disconnected items. And the experience was memorable enough that I still remember it from many, many years ago. Here are some other mnemonics that you're probably familiar with. I live in the Midwest, so homes is a relevant one, all of the Great Lakes. And then, of course, Roy G. Biv for the rainbow. And then, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. I haven't used that for a while, but for math, algebra. So we know these mnemonics. There's also so many songs and different things, and they've helped us remember things. So they are a great tool. So when it comes to remembering, when are mnemonics helpful? Daniel Willingham shared that mnemonics are helpful when the information doesn't inherently have meaning. For example, spelling rules. This is really where mnemonics shine. If it's not meaningful, we're going to give it some meaning. For example, we're going to teach songs to remember things that aren't meaningful, or rhymes, or sentences. But mnemonics are a last resort because he shares that it's really rare that something doesn't inherently have meaning. So the best way to remember most things is to set yourself a concrete task that requires you to think about the meaning. Willingham gives some examples, like when students are reading, when they get to the end of a section, they could put the book down and teach a summary to somebody else. They can even put sticky notes at the end of each section to remind them to do it. Or you can pose questions that require thinking about the content. If you can't remember, you can look back and you still get a memory benefit. It's extra work to do these tasks, and our brain is naturally wired to take the easy route. But if you really want to remember something, challenge yourself to talk about it, write about it, or some concrete task that gets you to think about the material. I'm sure many of you have experienced when you teach something, you learn it the best. So this is all things that get us to think about it. And we are notoriously bad with evaluating how much we're going to remember. We think we'll remember more than we do. But anything that gets you to think more about the material can definitely help. So here are two of my favorite books of his. I just wanted to show them again. The Why Students Don't Like School I go to again and again because there's so many tips about learning and teaching. Very interesting. And one of the more recent ones I listened to, Outsmart Your Brain, would be super helpful if you were in college or wanting to study and become a better learner. So those are two that I would recommend. Also, he has a website, danielwillingham.com, with videos and articles, and he's also on all the social media platforms, so you could check it out. And I don't get any, any personal benefits from any of the people that I talk about. It's just sharing some resources that I enjoy and I found really helpful. So for more resources, don't forget to check out our companion site listed here. And thank you for listening.